I'm going to be perfectly honest. This movie could have been good. This really had Suicide Squad had the ability to be good. And in fact, like there are the machinations of the scenes are there. They need to be reorganized, but they're there. It could have been good, except for two things. And those two things, I think, are the ones that have upset you the most. You just, wow. Okay, I guess you need a little time to recover. But yes, the two things, Harley Quinn and the Joker. If they weren't in this movie, this would have been a perfectly fine movie. An okay movie. But with them in it, I think that they're just, yeah, they're the proverbial boat anchor of the movie, sad to say. And they are, not only do they drag the movie down every time they're on screen, they are, god damn, like they just kind of suck the fun out of the movie in a weird way. But they kind of inject this sort of campy craziness in its place. And it's not exactly welcome, but it's like with them in it, the movie's worse. But I can't hate them. I'm sorry, Gabe. I can't hate these characters, but they are the worst parts of the movie. Are you okay, man? You are just without words right now. Ugh. So, okay, looks like I'm gonna have to fly solo for a bit.
Fuck this fucking piece of shit! Fuck! Ah!
You okay?
Fuck!
You're gonna pull out your beard, man. You okay? You're right. Come on. I'm right. I'm right here. I'm right here. Come on. You can do it.
I'm gonna break your arm.
Oh. I mean it. This movie could have been good if not for the Joker and Harley Quinn. This movie could have been good without those two. If you just completely remove them from the movie, you could see a good movie in its place.
I can't see past. Oh my god, you get older, and everything you love is destroyed. It is just obliterated. Everything. And why, I don't even understand why I ever liked the character.
Harley Quinn, yes.
Harley Quinn. I don't understand why I don't even know what I liked about the character anymore. She's so over sexualized at this point and so two-dimensional, just crazy. I'm beginning to I don't think I can even remember what I liked about her in the first place. Why is she one of my top favorite comic book characters? I don't even remember.
All right. Let me ask you this. Who do you think came out worse? Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad? I was about to compare her to like your other favorite comic book character. But then I realized no, that's not exactly fair.
Liev Schreiber.
Yeah, like Liev Schreiber because
way better. He came out way better.
Yeah, but the other guy,
Tyler Mane.
Way
better.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Because
are you kidding? I mean,
I thought it was going to lead to an interesting discussion. And then I remember, no, she came out worse.
She did. She really did.
But the thing about it though is that it's not exactly the writing of the character that's wrong. I mean, like it's a combination of two things. It's not stellar writing, appropriate writing, but not stellar writing. The writing is there, but the Margot Robbie just kind of went full tilt, and it became kind of like a parody of Harley Quinn.
It was like a parody of what a fanfic of Harley Quinn. It was like a parody of what she's become.
Well, if we went by what she's become by the comic book character, then she would have shacked up with Poison Ivy and just give Joker the bird.
Yeah.
Which,
Well, it was.
I had my issues with that turn as well.
Yeah.
Which, it has nothing to do with the whole bisexual angle or lesbianism thing. Far from it. It's basically having to do with once Harley Quinn
Is detached from her anchor, which is the Joker. I'm realizing now more than ever that she was not meant to be a centerpiece. She was meant to be a character that remained a little bit mysterious.
And
It's someone who was meant, who was at their best when they were working off of their more popular character. I hate to say that, I'm sorry she can't be like the strong female, but what the fuck did you expect? It's Harley Quinn. She never was.
I mean, they turned her into that.
She was her core character when she was created in the 90s. She was like, what was it, 92 or something?
Like 92 or 3 was when the Bruce Timm cartoon came out. Yeah.
She was never meant to be that character, and it's not like we're not supposed to have characters that aren't perfectly, it's like when it comes to female characters, we can't have them all be, model woman. We can't have them all be strong, independent females, because then you would have nothing to contrast the strong, independent females against.
It's not the lack of strong female characters, it's the lack of variety. That is the heart of the issue, I feel, when it comes to female character writing. But I do agree that even though the tragedy of Harley Quinn's character is that she fell in love with the most evil man in Gotham City, and to some of the writing's credit, you do believe that the relationship is based on real love, like they honestly are madly in love with each other. But he was just the most evil man, and she just kind of became evil by association.
And I mean, when I say strong female characters, I mean strong independent female characters, like I don't need no man kind of bullshit. You know what
yeah, like
you know what I'm talking about. Right?
If I were to draw like every kind of female character I can come up with that has that same kind of mentality, or at least that idea of a mentality, are lesbians. So that's kind of that's not fair.
It's not fair. But what I'm trying to say is that was just never her. That was never her character. That just and trying to fit what you think people want, and apparently they think they want it.
I think
maybe they do want it. Maybe they should get it.
And just to realize how boring a character she is without it. Because now she's just like she's Joker-like.
Well, now she's just all the other fucking characters that were made that way just out of obligatory writing. It's just
obligatory.
I'm sorry, obligatory obligation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just. I'm getting flustered again.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's
take a breath. Take a breath.
But break it down. Where do we start here? The costuming I knew from the beginning was shit. I was able to look past that. That's fine. Whatever. She was supposed to be the least clothed in a group of people who were actually pretty clothed, except for Enchantress.
Except for Enchantress.
But she wasn't really part of the group.
But you were led to believe she was.
You were led to believe she was. But, I mean, it was like, that's fine and everything. But this isn't Harley Quinn. This is not Harley Quinn. This is just I'm crazy fan fiction bullshit.
Like I said, it felt like the writing was appropriate, but it wasn't good appropriate. It felt
like it was for 15-year-old girls.
Yeah, it felt like the writing that came out of Margot Robbie's mouth, I don't think anyone could have saved. But it wasn't like terrible like M. Night Shyamalan writing. It was just like, oh, what does a character say here? She's crazy, so she'll make a joke about her craziness, I guess. And then Margot Robbie, who I think really chafed at the character. I think she really did.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone really liked shooting that movie. Because everything I've ever read about any actor who was in the movie was either under some kind of protest, or was there under some kind of just like not like Will Smith took the role of Deadshot because his son wanted to play Static Shock. So
He is such a good father.
huge. He's such a good father, and Will Smith is Will Smith in that he was the best part of the movie. I mean, he was
He was the most believable.
he was the most,
character.
not only the most believable, he was kind of like the emotional center of the movie,
Yeah.
which is why I go back to Harley Quinn and the Joker being the worst part of this movie, because they're not a part of this movie. They're having their own story.
Yeah.
And all right, I know some of you are asking this right now. How is Jared Leto as the Joker? He's there. Honestly, he doesn't really have much to do in the movie. He's just kind of showing up to, basically, I'm here, and then bolts out of the movie, which I kind of expect would happen, because, like, judging from whether the trailers, I was expecting, like, they're sending in the Suicide Squad to stop the Joker from doing something. No, that doesn't work, because then why would they send Harley Quinn? So what the fuck is the Joker doing? He's not part of the Suicide Squad, so what the fuck is the Joker doing here? And then the answer is the Joker got separated from Harley Quinn after she got arrested, and he's spending the entirety of the movie trying to get her back. And at the end, he does, setting up for sequels, which
Jared Leto was terrible. He was terrible.
he was...
As the Joker, he was terrible.
As the Joker, he was terrible. I don't think anyone's going to come up and say... I don't think anyone's going to defend him, but that is to say that we have a history of great Jokers, and it is so unfair to Jared Leto to be compared to them, because, like, that 1 in a million performance from Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson being Jack Nicholson, which I would argue is not a good Joker, but is a great Jack Nicholson performance.
Yeah.
So, and then you got Mark Hamill's animated Joker, who just kind of set the bellwether from the character, for the character rather.
Yeah.
And some of the more underrated performances in, like, if we're going to expand the history of Joker performances to someone like
Cesar Romero.
no, not Cesar Romero. Although, Cesar Romero was fun because, like that
Of course he was.
1960s camp, 1960s camp Batman. Like, how more camp can you get by the fact that Cesar Romero refused to shave his mustache before he put it on his clown makeup, so you can see his mustache poking through the white makeup on his face. No, but I was talking about some other voice actors, like John DiMaggio was an alright Joker, not the best, but he was sort of underrated for his performance, and so was I'm blanking on his name. The voice of Bato, enter name here. There we are. But yeah, I thought he was great in the Injustice. He was the Injustice Joker.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, voice acting.
yeah, voice acting. But, like, if we're gonna, like, a performance is a performance. Whether you do it with mannerisms or when you do it with your voice, it's a performance.
No, I realize that, but we're talking about
Yeah.
this. We're talking about visual performance here as well as audible.
Yeah. But the main through line.
Just like saying it's unfair to compare Jared to other Jokers, it's also unfair to judge a person's performance and compare it to one that is completely an audible performance without any. Because this is an art.
Yeah.
As much as
Using
movies like this will lead you to believe otherwise because of CG and other shit.
But the main through line between all these performances is the writing. And even though everyone will tell you that the best actor in the world can make the phone book sound interesting, that doesn't mean you want to listen to it. It can sound interesting, but you wouldn't want to listen to it for the length of a feature-length film. And Jared Leto was working with the weakest material I think any Joker, any mainstream Joker has ever had.
I'm gonna hurt you really, really bad. That's about the extent of it right there.
That
doesn't get witty. It doesn't get funny. It doesn't get. There's no. There's no jokes involved. Even fucking Heath Ledger's gritty, serious Joker had jokes. Now, in some form. And the problem with Jared Leto's Joker, the problem with Jared Leto's performance, is that he really hyped himself. Everybody around him hyped him. They sold him really hard, and he himself really, really set himself up to be knocked down.
He set himself to be knocked down, but how could you not with a character like that?
Yes, I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. There's only one way to go with the Joker, and that's not true. I take that back. Because Heath Ledger didn't do that.
Heath Ledger didn't.
He locked himself away.
He locked himself away, but
You didn't hear about it till after his performance.
yeah, but the problem by comparing the two is that Heath Ledger's Joker was the main antagonistic force of his movie. This was not the case for
He was
this.
an anti-hero in a way.
I don't think
He
he
wasn't
well,
an anti-hero, but he was a part of an anti. He was connected to an anti-hero.
Yeah, and in that regard, it's the most different Joker we've ever seen.
It's different and it's shit.
It's different, and I don't particularly care for it, but
Shit. He cut himself on his edge. He did.
like my main problem with him was the fact that his gold capped teeth made him sound way. He didn't
I think they
sound.
were silver, weren't they?
Well, he has cap teeth. He has
point, yeah.
he has a grill, but because of that, he doesn't sound menacing. He kind of sounds like you're the
Yeah.
nerd in the back of the room who doesn't understand when he's invading your personal space.
Yeah.
And that doesn't exactly. Well, that might unnerve people. That doesn't exactly scream menacing.
Look, this movie was made so that they could sell lots of fucking husbando body pillows. Is that what right?
Husbando.
Yeah, husbando body pillows with the Joker on it, and likewise waifu pillows with Harley on it. That's what this movie was for.
With those two in it. But as bad as they were, there were parts of the Suicide Squad that I thoroughly enjoyed on a stupid summer movie kind of way. Stupid CG. Because, you know what? At least when things got action heated, you could follow the action. It was well shot action.
Yeah, there were. I have to. I don't want to admit it.
Like,
But there was points in the movie where I actually started to get kind of interested because it was shot well. It was shot well at those points.
it was shot
There
well.
was a little bit of anticipation.
Yeah, there was, and as I said, Will Smith is a charismatic enough actor that he can carry a movie scene, like just by him being on screen. And credit to everyone else in the movie, like El Diablo, which I felt,
He actually did a good job.
yeah, he really did. Like,
It was him and Will Smith that really, and I want to say that I forgot the katana.
oh, her name, I forgot the actress's name, but
Yeah, the Ronin-looking kind of
yeah, like
shogunny.
yeah, Katana.
Is that just her name, Katana?
I believe so. Correct me if
but,
I'm wrong here.
Squeaky, squeaky. Full of Batman.
But
Boy, when Batman Returns is looking good.
this is way better than Batman Returns. You
You
want to
know what? I wasn't invested, and I really did enjoy. I really did enjoy Michelle.
you had Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
I always,
Yeah.
I always,
It's the P. I know.
I always hit the hard P because fuck that.
She's P.H. Pfeiffer, but
Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah.
but I mean she was great in that. Everything else I just wasn't invested in that much
Yeah.
because I mean it's like I enjoyed it as a kid because I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a kid could enjoy this movie just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't invested in him very much, and I'm kind of thinking that this one just pissed me off too much. I'm biased. I give it. I admit.
Like this movie pissed you off, and your feelings aren't invalidated by your
Yeah.
history. That's like no movie is ever watched or enjoyed in a vacuum. You bring your own personal history with every movie you watch.
I feel like I'm turning into the guy who hates Joel Schumacher movies. You know, it's
man.
like I'm turning into a person who's like you, who hates fun.
I love
No,
fun.
the truth is,
No.
you like fun that is unconventional.
Yeah, I love fun.
You like unconventional fun.
I like unconventional fun because when you see a lot of movies, you can't help but write the movie in
You
your
like
head.
the fun that other people hate. And that's why you enjoyed this movie, because I hated it.
I'm not gonna lie that I didn't get some kind of shot of Freudiness.
Well, you see, the thing is, I was crying during the whole movie out of this eye, and he was sitting right here, so he got to see that eye, not this one. And the whole time, he thought that I was, like, really crying.
Look, no, like we were watching the credits, and I looked at him, and he's like, I saw tears welling up. I was like, "Are you that devastated by Margot Robbie's performance?"
Now, I'm thinking maybe I should just let you have it, but you don't deserve it.
But no,
You
no,
don't deserve it.
no. Apparently,
The person who pays for my movie.
yeah, like,
But,
like apparently he got some like spicy powder on some pop chips in his eye.
Sounds so excusey.
Yeah, I know.
But the truth is, you were eating it too. We were eating this bag of chips that was like buffalo.
Like I said,
extra
it
hot.
was spicy pop
And
chips.
I got the digging in there and got the powder right into my left eye.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
And then I did not let up on it all the
Yeah,
way out of the
yeah.
theater. It's just like, do you want me to get you some Johnson & Johnson? No more tear shampoo.
Couldn't have had worse timing. But the movie didn't help either.
Oh man. Well, it could have gone the other way. It could have gone the other way. That I looked at you, and then like you had tears, and I was like, "Did you love it that much?" So overcome with emotion was such a beautiful movie. The movie where Batman makes out with an unconscious Harley Quinn. About maybe a third way into the movie, yeah, like where they go into how Harley was captured by Batman to be turned into this swamp Louisiana prison, like it was Angola, but she, he rescues her from drowning from a drowning car, and then like you checking his pulse. So I'm thinking, like when it first happens, I'm thinking like, okay, he's giving her CPR. But no, it's a full-on makeout session with a comatose Harley.
Yes.
What the fuck, Batfleck?
That's
Where the fuck did that come from?
that's where I was.
That was like,
I knew there was that was the moment of no return. That was fuck.
yeah.
That's where this whole movie was. I knew there's gonna be that kind of movie, huh? And by that kind of movie, I mean, what the fuck was this movie?
Yeah.
Like, Batman versus Superman was weird in the decision, like in the decision making, and this was.
The performance-wise, too, and...
But this,
Like I said, like, the majority of this movie could be saved if you re-edited it. Because there is a story. There is a good story here.
there's almost like there's two writers.
You know what?
And they go back and forth. They take turns. They step in. And one guy says, "Okay, you're done. You're done having Batman kiss a comatose Harley Quinn. Now we're going to have like this neat, Suicide Squad movie, where the Suicide Squad does really cool action scenes, and there's actually suspense, and there's." And then the other guy comes back in. He's like, yeah, and there's gonna be Enchantress is going to, do the Calypso while she's summoning a giant CG shitstorm that destroys like most of the world or parts of the world or whatever.
Like the machines of the world.
Yeah, like why do we have to keep getting back into these stupid fucking apocalyptic scenarios with these movies? It's just don't one up each other. You don't need to. It was stupid the first time.
Which is why Deadpool was so great. It was just a personal stakes movie.
Yeah.
And
Suicide Squad, I really thought was going to be far more, of a like a covert kind of mission.
Yeah.
Like we go in and when we go in and we block out where we're gonna where we're gonna take them out, like where we're gonna enter and our exit points. I thought it was going to be really technical, like.
yeah.
I mean, of course, still kicking ass and
Kicking ass, like if some DC villain took over some kind of compound where there's a lot of kryptonite and Cadmus wants that kryptonite.
That's all you need. That's a big enough stakes plot as it is. You don't need to have these ridiculous CG. They did it again. They put a fuking CG storm in the sky. Avengers, X-Men Apocalypse. It is just they're doing it over and over again. I'm so fucking tired of it. You don't need to. Save that for your Infinity Gauntlet movie.
I don't. It will be interesting to see what happens when Infinity Gauntlet is actually released.
They're just getting off the floor with their
Age of Ultron? No.
It was DC. With their Fucktards United. What's it called?
Justice League.
Justice League. Yeah,
With the
Justice League.
Justice League. Yeah.
They're just getting off the floor with the Justice League. They don't need to be this high of stakes at this point. Like.
Yeah, like at this point, the DC is just frantically trying to keep up with Marvel, but Marvel is already losing steam. So it's just like,
you and your Marvel hatred. How can you see all these terrible fucking DC movies and still have anything to say about them?
I will say that after seeing
how
I can say this honestly because Marvel movies are always going to hit that baseline of acceptable good. They're just always going to hit that at this point, and they're not going to get any better.
This motherfucker.
It's like anything like an Avenger movie is going to be doing is just going like, yeah, that was good. Don't need to see it again.
Hey, Deadpool kind of was a Marvel movie.
Yeah, that was a Fox. That was a Fox Marvel movie.
I mean, it wasn't Disney. So.
It wasn't Disney. It wasn't like it didn't have to get like Disney CEO's stamp of approval before they go into assembly line filmmaking.
But still, the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the
Was a nice curveball.
Yeah, it was a nice curveball, and I'm expecting Doctor Strange to be a nice curveball.
Yes.
I mean, but I'm
And
dreading.
then you have DC,
Yes,
which is just
like
mind-blowing, mind-numbingly stupid.
oh yeah,
Like, stupid idiot.
yeah. Like I said, I never want to see any DC movie I see again. But if you ask me point blankly, which one was a more enjoyable experience? It's like, well, at least I didn't know where that film was going.
I mean, going into this, I was almost ready to just start going quiet, 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 quiet,
You and your Jericho.
quiet.
You and your Jericho.
No,
references.
really. Here's another one. I felt like I was watching an entire 2 hours of R-Truth doing his rap. I was just stone cold, dead faced. I mean, there were points where I laughed because I, can't help but laugh at CG shitstorms.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was mostly just, what's up? What's up?
Look at but I don't want to give this film, I want to give this film its due credit. As I said, Marvel films always hit a good acceptable line. I'm not saying they're bad films. I'm just saying, you see them all, they get kind of smooth after a while. To quote Queen, there was a reason why he wanted to go to those dirty, big, fat bottom ladies. Those blue-eyed floozies. They run smooth after a while.
I know, right?
But whereas Suicide Squad was, at least the character dynamic I had not seen in a superhero film before. The actual, what the fuck? We're literally being hamstrung to do this. It's like, okay. And then that kind of turns into this whole escort mission dynamic with with their head guy. So like, okay, this is fine. This is something I haven't seen a million times before. And I do like the fact that Will Smith looks like he's earnestly trying.
Yeah.
Earnestly trying with that. And I liked Amanda Waller in this movie. That oh god, I'm blanking on the actress's name as well. And she's a really great actress too. And when she was cast as Amanda Waller, I just felt like perfect. Like, literally could not have been a more perfect choice for Amanda Waller. It's like finding Patrick Stewart for Professor Xavier. Like, duh.
She was the boss.
Yeah, Amanda Waller is. Yeah, she was the boss. Actress's name right here. Okay.
Yeah, she was really good too. And, yeah, there were these pinpoint characters that were big characters that were good, and
that's where this has way heads above Batman v Superman. Because where Batman v Superman had Batfleck, who was pretty good in that movie, not so much in this movie, rapey Batman.
Oh man, why? What do you guys have against Batman? I mean, why do you hate Batman? And Ben Affleck, what?
Why
what
was
are you
that
doing? Are you?
Why was that shot, and why wasn't that edited out? This edited jumbled mess. Why was that kept in the movie?
Is Affleck trolling?
I honestly don't know.
At this point, I think he's just trolling.
But getting back to your where Batman v Superman had two good things. Yeah, Batfleck, which I liked, and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman just left me wanting more. Which is, considering how much she was in that movie, that's a good thing. That's a good feeling. You want to be hyped for the upcoming Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, but I really liked her too, and she was definitely fit. She was,
but that's
good cardio fit.
But we've already had this discussion. Let's lay it down there, because those are two of the only good, legitimately good parts of this movie.
Yeah.
Whereas Suicide Squad had way more legitimate good parts of this movie, like I said, just Will Smith and El Diablo and Amanda Waller and the story, or at least 2/3 of the story before it got bogged down by probably by the reshoots and re-edits. was a solid enough story to get you invested in it. And like the beginning was a jumbled mess, the end, but like after you get that over that initial hill, where like Captain Boomerang just kind of disappeared for like 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden he's back. Like once you get past that point, when they actually
It's almost felt like that was a common occurrence for him. Like, he got away again. Send the guys to black bag him and bring him back.
So, but once they actually get boots on ground and they like explain the mission, or at least what the need to know basis mission, it was an okay movie. I mean, like again, outside of the every time the plot was trying to veer off into Harley Quinn and Joker
Fanfic crap, yeah.
Yeah, but again, I will even
fuck them showing her putting up like the actual Harley Quinn classic suit, and then
oh yeah, like they actually did have them do that Alex Ross painting. That famous Alex Ross painting. They actually do visually reference that. But
because they knew that was another thing that people liked.
Yeah, like I couldn't understand like in context, like as far as the narrative context of that. Like at one point or another during their crime escapades, like she did at one point traverse around Gotham City wearing the red and black leotard, and then she just kind of became like this
trailer park trash cosplay weird sequin
like
cotton candy bubblegum bullshit.
Like it would. Weirdly enough, it's like her character from Margot Robbie's character from Wolf of Wall Street, or a trailer trash hoe.
Yeah.
I hate to say it.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that when she's gearing up and she, like it's kind of implied that she stripped down to naked while she puts on her clothes. Everyone stopped around her, including the other women. There were other female GIs like walking around, and they had to stop. Oh, Margot Robbie's getting butt ass naked. It's like there's no judgment here. I mean, I hate to say it though, but like when your film debut or your major film debut was getting full frontal inside of Leonardo DiCaprio's movie,
yeah,
this is like you make one hell of a fucking statement.
I mean, sure that scene was fun. The funniest scenes in this movie,
and there are legitimate laughs here. There are legitimate.
Were in the trailer.
They were in the trailers. Yes, trailers. They were in the trailers. And you know what was oddly kind of cute in this movie? Killer Croc was oddly kind of cute in this movie.
Oh, you know what? I ended up liking Killer Croc more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
He wasn't Goomba.
He wasn't Goomba.
I thought he was going to be.
No, he wasn't. He had a kind of sense of humor about himself.
Yeah.
When they said, we're all evil on the inside, and then Harley points to Killer Croc, except you're also evil on the outside. I'm not ugly. Takes off the hood.
I'm beautiful. He was like, I'm not ugly, shorty.
I'm beautiful. It's like, you do you, man. You do you, Killer Croc.
Yeah.
And
how about a Killer Croc movie?
Yeah, like Killer Croc was
enough of a curveball on its own.
Yeah, that was a really cute performance.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't have a lot of time to shine, but that just made like all the instant like he was the Groot of the movie, except not as oversaturated as Groot was. Mm-hmm. And that was perfectly acceptable for me. And El Diablo's character, even though it kind of suffered from the telltale of you have a character arc, kind of.
And turning into the fucking Diablo. Like, I don't know this character that well. Is that something he does?
I don't know that character. But I don't know that character very well either, but,
the way that they orchestrated it in this movie was really, really cheesy.
It was really cheesy, but it was so enjoyably fun, and, like it's just seeing a flaming Aztec god call another god, like, I'm gonna make you my bitch, and then just, like, flame, like, have like a flaming battle. That was fun. All right, that was so.
It was fun in the way of like.
That was DC letting loose, and DC letting loose because like some of its story arcs are just mind-bendingly stupid, but stupid in the most like childhood awesome way. Like we're like, and then Superman comes down from like 1,000,000 miles an hour and punches Mars, pooh, and then Mars acts like a billiard ball and smacks into Venus, and Venus crushes Darkseid.
Yeah, Randy Orton RKO's the ball from out of nowhere.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that's DC.
Yeah.
That is DC, and that was the closest we ever got to that kind of level of.
But it wasn't consistent, which is why it stood out.
Yeah, it wasn't
in a not good way because like you were going from like you're trying to be serious, you're trying to keep it together. We're not going to be over the top cheesy. We're not going to be stupid. And then you are.
Well, like that's where the mind, like the movie is of two minds, of obvious two minds, and I feel that when it, oddly, when it's in the middle, is at its worst. When it's one extreme, it was pretty good. When it was the other extreme, it was all right too. Because like
No, there was middle ground that I actually liked.
well,
I think a lot of the good parts were the middle ground actually, because that was the parts where Will Smith is doing his thing. They're spotting the place. They're planning. They're doing group things. Or given that their dialogue with each other, their banter was not very good.
No.
It wasn't witty at all.
again, I use the term acceptable.
Yeah, it was just, yeah, it was mediocre at best.
Yeah, well,
And,
all right,
but when they were doing things like oh look, we're like okay, so there's something beyond that wall that we have to get to, and
well, as far as plot progression, as far as plot progression,
Yeah.
it kept it at a nice breezy clip. Huge amount of stumbles in the beginning. Like this is one of the most jumbled beginnings of a film, where it just felt like the end of Batman v Superman, where Wonder Woman is literally clicking a button to just find all these slides of metahumans. It began with that, but as far as beginnings are concerned, that's where you would put something like that.
Yeah.
Although the editing is so jumbled that they kind of run over the exact same ground twice with two scenes almost right after another, where they basically relay the exact same information. It's like, why couldn't this be combined? Why couldn't this just be one scene, not two separate scenes? And oddly enough, the weakest link of this movie is brought up at the beginning, kind of forgotten towards the middle, and then brought up at the end of the movie was Enchantress. Enchantress began, like, the idea of Enchantress, like her, like this ancient spirit inhabiting a body of an innocent woman. Okay, all right, that's fine. And then, like, Amanda Waller, devious genius that she is, engineers, handpicks a staffer to fall in love with her, so that way she can always keep an emotional leash on him as well as have the mystical heart of the witch, which I know that goes into far-flung DC bullshit territory, which I love. But like you're marrying this hard ground. Like I know, like I personally groomed this particular staff sergeant to watch over her, knowing that they will form a relationship because because the personalities are compatible. And look at her, look at him. How could they not? And then far-flung but when she's the Enchantress, like I got the glowing green heart, the fucking. Looks like she holds it like fucking Kalima, and Kalima. But no, Kalima wasn't the name of the character. That's what he said as he ripped it, or my mistake. But like that's where I felt like the movie, like when it wants to be one thing, it was okay. When it wants to be the other thing, it was right. But whenever time like they clash against the middle, that's where you get like these tonal shifts, and that's where you get like these editing, like, oh, didn't we just go over this again? Fuck. Like the beginning is like I was prepared to hate this movie just by that beginning. Like the first 30 minutes are some of the worst filmmaking of the year. But the last...
yeah, the worst part was definitely the beginning.
Yeah, like, the character introductions were so abrupt and so tacked on that it was like, oh god, this is going to be the worst parts of Batman v Superman for the entire movie.
Yeah.
But, like, again...
Oh, yeah, and let's just talk about... I know you don't want to talk about the Harley and Joker scenes because you're just dismissing them as, like, okay, that wasn't a part of the movie.
Like, in my mind, I'm trying to make this a better movie. But since they are here...
But... Joker, I'm sorry, Jared is, I think I'm picking up what he might have been going for.
What's that?
He was trying to go for, like, I think that he was getting he's getting crossed between, trying to imagine what Mark Hamill's Joker would be like in physical form. Like, what would it be like in motion picture? And then he was trying to combine that with a new, yes, I know, edgy, but also contemporary Joker. Like, how can we appeal to the youth, the younger audience, a new Joker, an updated Joker?
I don't know, like...
It did feel that way.
Like, it felt... But there was way too many visual callbacks to, like, older stories. Like, his white suit... That was
Yes, but how can you not?
like, how can you not? But like, if you want to make it like some kind of callback to the youth culture, why do you keep referencing the past? It's
Well, you see, I didn't say they did it right.
yeah,
I didn't say right, but that's kind of what I was getting the feeling of. I mean, that's the cholo tattoos and stuff like that. It felt like he was trying to appeal to some kind of, or at least maybe if not updated, at least different genres maybe. It felt way too much trying to be cool.
like this Joker is trying to also endemic of the fact that he doesn't have a lot of screen time to do it. Because the Joker is always like a fucking maelstrom whenever he's in a scene.
I'm not gonna say he was like the Martin Short of Jokers,
No, no.
where he puts on the laugh and fails at it or something. I'm sorry, Martin Short. I use you a lot as an example.
It's like you just got like this fucking vendetta against this actor and comedian who just
even gotten any movie work in a while.
it was like you just saw Three Amigos when you were a little kid and you were just like sharpening your hate boner ever since.
Hey, I thought he was really good in Mars Attacks.
I forgot he was in that movie. All right, but as I said, like every flaw with with Jared Leto's performance faults him in two ways. Like the writing wasn't very good, and he wasn't given enough presence in the movie to actually breathe and actually
Yeah.
own a scene. Like there's no scene where like Heath Ledger walks into Bruce Wayne's hotel room and just like owns it, eats his food, and just like owns it. There's nothing like that for Jared Leto. In fact, there's this really confusing scene where he's sitting down with some other gangster, and he's just like, "You like my girl?" And then like he like offers her to him, and she
Yeah.
just accepts it, and then he doesn't, and then he just shoots him, and then
Oh God,
that was a
they had to have Harley Quinn like doing pole dancing shit, and there's no point where she shows that she has some kind of way to contribute to this scene in a way that isn't just a completely just like gangster's girlfriend, hooker, whatever, a hoe. There was no point where it's like, oh, okay, she's she's not a hoe. That was a gimmick. That was something they were just doing because they were having fun. They like to role play. That's something that Joker likes to do. They like to
playing
dress
games
up and play games. It was like, no, actually, she's just a hoe in this scene.
yeah, and then like
That's it. She doesn't do anything.
like weirdly enough, like there's this like he offers her to her like it's like you're his now, and she's just like okay,
Yeah.
and then like is this like a game they play to like
She is the fire in my loins. She is the itch in my crotch.
and then he just like willingly gives her to him, and then like he just gets like kind of skeeved out a little bit.
The
and just-
Joker should never talk about himself being interested in her sexually. Not like that.
even though they implied it really heavily in the
It's supposed to
cartoon.
be more like psychosexual. It's supposed to be much more. It's supposed to be much more deranged. It's supposed to be much more left field.
I don't know, like
Not so just.
like there were hints in the cartoon where they actually fucked.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
like-
if you want to rev up your Harley.
But yeah,
stuff,
like she was in a nightie and
Yeah, but it was alluded to. It wasn't in the cartoons. I don't know.
like it was pretty heavily applied.
This is where I examine the character and I start to ask myself, why did I ever like this character?
You're just like I think you answered your own question.
Was I just young and
you're young, you like the visual design of her, and you
I liked the visual design. It was interesting. It was different from other female villains or heroines. Mm-hmm. She was different. It was interesting. She was. You didn't think about it too much. You didn't overthink it. And now that it's like you're taking this, you're putting the spotlight on her, and you're suddenly examining this character way too much, and you're realizing maybe there's not as much there as you thought there was, or hoped that there could be.
Yeah. That and Margot Robbie could not pull off a New York accent.
No, that too.
Like I can't believe it took us to get 48 minutes into this
Yeah.
vlog without mentioning that Margot Robbie
Well, that's just how fucked this movie was.
like she could put on a normal like American accent, but like her putting on like not very often heard American regional accent.
Yeah.
Like, nobody. I did not buy her Brooklyn accent.
But that
at
was
all.
the least of the
But that was
problems.
that was the least of the
the
problems.
least of the problems.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, I emerged from this movie. By the way, if I'm gonna, I realize we got here without really talking about the plot. But the plot is, pretty simple setup. No matter how complicated the movie got, the movie is that Enchantress manages to break free from her hold momentarily to resurrect her her god brother.
So there was like what was she, a archaeologist or something?
Yeah, like she was
So there was this person who was an archaeologist. She goes into she goes into the dangerous place with the tomb or whatever, and she finds the dangerous object, the occult object, and it activates and it brings out the witch. The witch goes into her because the witch possesses people. She's now herself and the witch, and whenever she says Enchantress, then Enchantress comes out, takes Enchantress form and does Enchantress things like apparently dematerializing and appearing somewhere else.
Yeah, it's like
being able to get objects and bring them to other places and things like that.
Teleport
She's pretty Bamfy, pretty powerful.
make people
obviously.
hallucinate and
Yeah.
very nebulous, ill-defined powers. But like realizing that she can't approach the briefcase that holds her heart. She instead just goes one room over, just literally one room over, and then says like, "Oh, my brother's ashes. Hey, why don't I resurrect my brother? And then we
Yeah.
can just get. And then we're just gonna run. We're just going to ruin all. We're just gonna ruin the whole world because humans used to worship us. Now they worship machines, and now we're going to destroy the machines.
Machines again. What is it with these ancient figures and learning? Fucking machines.
I thought you were going to go Age of Ultron on us.
That was great. I'm not saying the whole movie was great, but
Yeah, that's.
oh, James Spader, you saved that movie.
James Spader saved that movie from just being really boring.
Yes.
Just fucking.
Oh, James Spader, you need to be doing more.
But like really confusing beginning. Like it tried to introduce all these characters. Like they tried to introduce Captain Boomerang in the beginning, and then they just kind of dropped Captain Boomerang until like 30 minutes into the film. It was like, oh, here's Captain Boomerang again.
Yeah.
And even though he doesn't really have a
He
lot,
kind of boomerangs throughout the whole movie.
I wonder why. But it felt like his presence in the movie was the least needed. That and Katana, but they were there, and I'm glad they were there because they kind of provided this sort of. It felt like if Harley Quinn and Joker weren't there, then like their backstories would have been expanded upon.
Yeah.
Like
And that would have been nice.
and that would have been nice. And, like it's nice to see characters you want to learn and be around more.
Yeah, like Katana, there's a point where there's very little of her, but there's a point where they establish that her blade can take the soul, collects the souls of its enemies, which is that's always awesome.
Yeah.
And they reveal this to us by saying it.
Yeah.
They just say it. They don't show us. They just tell us.
Yeah.
So fuck you. And there's a point where she unsheathes the blade from her sheath, and it's it's like a
shimmer.
misting.
And,
It's misting.
and shimmering. Yeah.
Yeah, and and she for a brief moment she starts to like get really sad.
And she's talking to her dead husband, like
Yeah.
who was killed by the blade. So like his soul is in that blade. So like,
That's what that was
yeah,
about.
yeah, like he's
and it's just a brief moment, and I'm thinking that's okay. That's really cool. That's interesting. There's an arc there. I want to know more about this, and then they never pick it up again.
yeah. Like,
So-
like, Captain Boomerang was like the low down dirty bastard of the group,
Yeah.
which I liked.
Which I like too. I mean, it was hard not to like.
Like he
that.
gets another guy that they picked up who's not on the poster, so like oh he's gonna fucking die. I don't know, and
I thought he was gonna die so many times during that movie, and it never happened. It was like somebody should have died during this movie because I mean, what was that animated film we saw?
oh
that was-
Flashpoint.
Yeah, no, not Flashpoint. It was. Oh, you didn't see it with me. I think it was Gavin. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's not going to go anywhere then.
But yeah,
But there was an animated bit where they had it was very much like Suicide Squad, but basically like there was a few differences in characters. They still had Deadshot, and Harley, I believe, and everything. But instead of Killer Croc, they had like a kill something Dino. It was like I think it was like Dino or something. It was like a dinosaur man. It was very much like Killer Croc, but anyway, and they had the bombs implanted in them and everything. It was just the same thing.
So yeah, but I know why that guy, like I believe his name was Slipknot, is why like the character's name who died in that movie to prove that they could blow off their heads. The character's name was Slipknot.
Whoever the shit that the guy you said was like Lou Diamond Phillips.
The guy looked like Lou Diamond Phillips to me for a moment. Then I remember, well, no, Lou Diamond Phillips is like 60 years old. That is not Lou Diamond Phillips. What the fuck, man?
He looked kind of like the Hey Victor guy.
Yeah, he did look like that.
I mean, I almost wonder if that was him.
Yeah, probably, it might have been. He was like, why the fuck did I say Lou Diamond Phillips? Fuck me.
Does he look Native American?
Oh god, like me and my cis white racist brain. Yeah. Why do you think all actors look the same? Fuck you.
I tell you why. It's because there aren't enough of them to differentiate from. They have a few, and it's really fucked up, and they need more. Mm-hmm. So that every time a guy shows up who is, not fucking white, you don't have to say, is it that one guy who's the only guy they ever fucking use?
Oddly enough, yes.
Yeah. And then it is the guy. And then it is the guy. And you're like, I knew I wasn't racist.
then I don't know, like Ed Begley Jr. made an entire career of being that guy who's just in every movie. Ed Begley Jr. is like the white answer to all those actors.
White answers.
Where were we?
Oh yeah, I was talking about
the plot. Yes,
talking about the plot. So Enchantress resurrects her brother. He starts shit in Midway. He starts shit in Midway, and all of a sudden their plan, comes to fruition. They create this gigantic sphereling vortex where they're going to destroy all the machines. However, weirdly enough, I don't know what this plan would have done because they needed Amanda Waller's knowledge to know where to strike specific points of secrecy. So I don't know what they would have done had they not encountered Amanda Waller, because they happened to just be they caught her escaping on a private helicopter. And what were you gonna do before this? Were you just going to fuck off, or you were just going to destroy the entirety of the world? But then you're we can hit we're gonna hit these secret areas. Well, why don't you just? Weren't they going to be hit anyway because you were going to just destroy pretty much every piece of machinery anyway? So it just felt like her part, Amanda Waller's part in the
weird.
Yeah, as far as Amanda Waller, I was almost called her Amanda Palmer, but Amanda Waller's part as far as being an instrument of the Doomsday plot was fairly forced, I felt, but they needed her to be alive, so fucking all right, whatever. I get that. She was the VIP that the Suicide Squad were originally sent to save. They weren't sent to stop this from happening. They were sent to save Amanda Waller. And Amanda Waller, for no reason whatsoever, when they finally get to her, just starts capping FBI personnel.
Yeah.
There's not enough room on the helicopter or something. I believe her reasoning was they knew the risks, they weren't supposed to be here or something like that.
That's right. Yeah.
I just come back to Dante from Clerks. I wasn't even supposed to be here today. It's cap. Actually, that was supposed to be the original ending of the movie. Dante gets capped in the head at the end of Clerks, and that was the end. I know. They even shot it.
And I think if I recall Clerks 2, they didn't need to worry about a sequel.
Even though I hear rumblings of a Clerks 3. After seeing the trailer for Yoga Hosers, I can't wait to see...
I haven't seen that yet.
I can't wait to see Dante and Randall fighting Bratzies.
Oh my god!
I explained the concept of Bratzies.
I know what he's alluding to.
I need to explain that. When I told him about Bratzies, he did what? Are they made?
Bratwurst zombies?
And I was like, no, like the bratwurst Nazis, like, are they made of bratwurst? They're like, yeah. Like, are they like people size? No, the really small like bratwurst sized Nazis that are also there are
But they're
bratwurst
also
that
zombies, right?
no, they're not Nazis. I mean, they're not zombies. They are just Nazis. They are just like evil
Oh,
Nazis.
Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, they're not zombies. Okay, so
They're-
they're just bratwurst.
They're just
Nazis.
bratwurst.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean, because why not? It's not like that would be. Oh, that's way too much. Zombies too.
You know,
I mean, they're hot dogs and they're Nazis. Let's not make this weird.
yeah. Let's not make this weird by having Johnny Depp in the movie too.
Really?
Yeah, Johnny-
Oh, God, that's right.
John-
No wonder I was immediately disfavorable to this movie.
Yeah. But like the actual Doomsday plot and the Enchantress angle was obviously the weakest part, but the character interaction once the plot actually got going, even Harley had a few nice moments every once in a while. And if it wasn't for the fact that like if it was just Harley without Joker, I mean that would still be an annoying representation of Harley, but she would fit in the movie better.
I mean, it's like her delivery's not bad. She understands timing,
She understands time,
but she has no real jokes to say. She has no. She has no like. This is not the Harley Quinn that I could see that people are talking about. Could see paired up with Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because that's a thing now. That's
Of
really
course.
popular, of course.
Of
Fanfic
course.
aside, there actually is like another parallel universe where that actually could be really good. In a place where her character hasn't been turned into what it is, where maybe she really was still just a less central character. But this isn't that. She would not, the way she was written in this movie would never fit into a Deadpool movie because Deadpool was extremely witty. It was really good.
Yeah.
It was great jokes.
And
It was great references.
it had a centralized plot.
Yes.
Like every part of the Deadpool movie was a purpose built, like from the ground up. And even when they shot a scene that never wound up in the movie, they removed it. No matter how good that scene would have been, they removed it for good reason. Here, it missed the deft hand of a good editor, and they missed, it missed some script tightening sessions. But certainly more than Batman v Superman. Certainly way more than Batman v Superman. Suicide Squad is a movie that was undone by, like I said, subpar writing. It was again adequate writing, made worse by the fact that the Margot Robbie just couldn't do anything with the material. I can't imagine anyone could. And Jared Leto's Joker just kept on a leash, which I can't imagine him finding his groove with that kind of take on the character. But at least he would have fit in the movie better. Because every time he showed up, it was just like, oh, I forgot Joker was supposed to be in this movie.
This movie wanted to be rated R really bad.
I feel like it did too.
Really bad.
I'm not quite sure if this would have been better if it was rated R, but again,
I think it would have been better.
eh,
I'm not going to say it would have been a lot better, marginally better.
I can't imagine it being worse, but
Yeah, but you can't imagine it being worse. I thought that you kind of liked it.
well, I can't imagine making it rated R would make it worse. You know what I mean?
No, it certainly wouldn't. But it's just I could feel every single moment
Yeah.
when they wanted to go full out and they couldn't.
Yeah,
And a good PG-13 movie that is still trying to hint at violence and stuff, without having to throw blood and gore all over your face, can still get the point across, which this didn't feel like it did. It really felt, like you said, it does feel like it's on a leash.
yeah, and that doesn't make for a good film, but it does make for like what could have been.
Yeah, it's almost like there's this bomb that's going to go off in them if they do something that's too violent.
But like, I left this movie, saying like, you know what, this wasn't a disappointing movie because those trailers did not make this film look good, so I didn't really have high hopes in it. But it kind of ascended those hopes because, it kind of did because one, I don't hold any real love for Joker and Harley Quinn. So like whatever they were going to do with the characters is just going to be like the worst that they're ever going to do for me personally is I'm just going to turn into Nelson Muntz and go ha ha. But so like the lowest point of the movie, the one that keeps it from actually being a good movie, the most major factor of being a good movie was just we're those two characters, but
Yeah.
I'm able to like see the forest for the trees, as it were, and see like, you know what, we got some dead trees here, but dead trees, and we got some work to do on this forest, but it's worth preserving. And
You got anywhere else to go with that metaphor?
no, not really. I'll end my thoughts by saying that Suicide Squad is not nearly as bad as the trailers make it out to be. I feel like this was like I feel like this movie was 2 or 3 edits away from being more of a hearty recommendation. It's like, yeah, it's a pretty good movie, but as it is,
Are you fucking kidding me?
no, I'm not like
The trailers were way better than the movie.
no, the trailers
The
look,
best parts of the movie were in the trailers.
no, they weren't.
Oh yeah, they were.
Like Deadshot wasting all those soldiers. That was a kick-ass part of the movie. The fucking audience cheered for that. That was not on the trailer. Yeah,
He aimed a gun at people and shot them.
like
Great.
just fucking like
Well, sure, that was great and all. I mean, it was
like fucking El Diablo turning into that flaming Aztec
that was
god.
cheesy as fuck.
It was cheesy but fun.
I just can't. I can't get behind stuff like that. You know, big action scenes. And honestly, they weren't shot that well.
They weren't shot as well as I would have liked, but I could follow it. Considering we just got off of Jason Bourne, that is fucking like maybe
Jason Boring was not.
like
It was
like,
just that. It was boring. It was not something interesting to talk about. You're just happy that you have something you can at least talk about.
yeah. I mean,
That doesn't make it a good movie in any way. It is a piece of shit. It is terrible. It is hot garbage, and it has a few parts in it that are okay.
I think you're giving this movie way too few credit. I think that again, Will Smith holds a lot of this movie together.
Like I just said, there are a few parts of it that are
But
okay.
the few parts are more than okay. I felt.
I didn't think that scene where he was shooting was really that great. I thought it was all right.
Well,
It was you know, it was a good movie. It was good. I mean, it was a good movie moment.
It was a good movie moment.
I mean, it didn't wow me though. It wasn't like, holy shit, dude, you got to go in there and you got to see this scene where Will Smith shoots people.
That's not just that. It's not just that scene. But I'm saying like his emotional arc through the movie, though not exceptionally written, was there and it carried the movie.
Yes, I mean, it carried it. No, it didn't carry the movie. It was, if anything was going to carry the movie, that would have been it.
I felt it did for me.
It didn't quite carry it for me. I mean, it was what it was. It was good on its own, but it wasn't enough to carry the movie. And I don't think there's any kind of great performance he could have had that would have carried the movie. It's not to his discredit. It's just that it's too much.
Like I said, like the weight of Harley Quinn and Joker on this movie is just way too much on this movie for me to even like say like see it for a few laughs. I can't say like I can't be as virulent about this movie as you are, because like I can't throw the baby with the bathwater.
I'm just so tired of like a decent action scene, you know, or a CG effects. I'm tired of that substituting good material, good writing, funny jokes, you know, sincere moments.
Yeah, like
I'm tired of that substituting, and I know that I'm bitter about Harley, but this discussion has helped me get over that. And now I'm more level-headed, and I'm realizing that I just don't really like the movie. Even without Harley and Joker, it just wasn't that great. It had lots of wowing, colorful digital CG effects, and honestly, the leash that it had on it made it so that those scenes, like where Will Smith is shooting shit up, aren't quite as wowing as they could have been. And the monsters that the people, and you know what? They don't really kill any people in this movie. They don't shoot people. Not that I need that, but
They
make
used to be people.
they're far from people at this point in appearance. They are like walking pustules.
Yeah, that was pretty gross.
And shooting those things is pretty easy to use in a PG-13 movie because they're not, it's not actual like blood and gore. It's not human anatomy that's coming out.
Like,
it's just goo and shit.
yeah, that's goo and broken black pustules. And
Yeah.
they kind of reminded me of the infected in The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in a certain sense, you're kind of doing them a favor by killing them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't. They're like hive mind or some crap. I don't know, but
Like, I guess, like I know I can see what you're trying to say about the movie. That like a lot of my enjoyment comes from this movie comes from the fact that I can enjoy it ironically. I'll be the first to admit, but I can see more than any other ironically enjoyed film that I had so far.
oh, and sorry to stop you there, but don't use the audience cheering at anything as a reason because they cheered at a lot of shit.
Oh yeah, they
They
did.
cheered at the credits. Like they cheered at well, actually, I guess I could understand cheering at
I mean, like,
the Warlock. What the frick? What the hell's his name again? Cumberbatch in.
you mean Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange. Thank you.
Well, yeah, they were hyped for the trailer. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the audience came into this ready to cheer, and they were damn well going to do it.
Yeah, like
I mean, hell, they were cosplaying.
yeah. But again, I'm trying to say from a general perspective, from a general like hive mind perspective.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of a fist pump moment. It's sort of, and I'm not gonna try to say like it was on par with fucking Godzilla atomic breathing that monster. Like nothing will ever top that. But it was that sort of like feel good. Like I do feel like that. Yeah, I do feel like I would cheer if I was a person who'd cheer in the movie theater. And sure enough, there were other people there. It's like, oh, okay, you're doing that for me. Okay, all right, calm down. This is a fucking movie. They can't hear you.
But look at freaking like I'm using Deadpool again as an example, but like where he's saying, okay, I have this many bullets. Mm-hmm. 1, 2. It's like gets double shots. Like that counts as one or whatever. Shit like that. Mm-hmm. I kind of expect not to that level, obviously, but to some level of like it's Deadshot. There's got to be some fucking jokes they can make like about him never missing. And it just didn't feel like they really hit the mark on that.
Yeah. Again, it feels like, as I said, they're kind of tearing themselves in half. To like,
and this was basically like, I'm so sorry, man. I know I'm being a capital G to you over here, but it was like this was kind of a comedy, the way they wrote it. It was like that wacky, fun movie. It was a borderline comedy.
Yeah.
More jokes, real jokes, funny moments.
Yeah.
You're trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy here.
Yeah. That's where those reshots definitely really felt like it was. But, again, coming from an unfunny comedy, just coming fresh off one, I've seen what truly unfunny comedy is like to sit through. Yeah. And that is like saying like, at least I could appreciate the attempt.
I mean, me too.
Nothing insulting.
Me too.
Nothing
I've
fucking
been there.
like
I've been there, right there with you.
he's like, and I'm not saying I'm rewarding the film for not being Ghostbusters, but I am saying that I think that I just like this film more. Asterisk here.
Oh, and thank you, neighbors. Thank you, Ghostbusters. Thank you, you motherfuckers, for lowering the bar so far that you can just do like half-assed, back of the book jokes, get by on it.
Because at least those jokes feel scripted.
Because at least they're like scripted, and you had some amount of timing involved, and it's like,
fuck. Like again, no movie is ever watched in a vacuum, man. You bring your past with you with every movie you see, but with this asterisk, with this coming statement, I like this movie for what it is, for what it attempted to be, and I am willing to overlook its many, 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 many fucking flaws.
like the effects whenever the Joker was like doing something that was supposed to be really edgy.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was. I didn't find that annoying. I just found it hilarious because it tried like nothing's funnier than edge lords trying too hard, and that was trying fucking too hard. Not to the movie's credit, but I could enjoy it in a certain mindset.
Oh yeah, and we didn't even bring up the fact that they show what everybody wants. The Enchantress is able to like make people see what they want, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I can give you that and shit. And she says that.
Yeah.
And so everybody's is like par for the course. That's fine. But Harley,
close up of Harley in a fucking 1950s like fucking 1950s housewife presses a
with
button,
the curling iron things in her hair.
little curlers pressing a button on the dishwasher says normal wash, while she is taking care of the kids and a normal Jared Leto.
Really, you're telling me that that's what Harleen Quincel's character wants?
To have to be in love with her pudding and have kids.
And be normal. And not do any of the amazing, crazy shit that they do. Really? That's very interesting. I didn't know that about her. I didn't realize that was the character arc, that she really just wants to be a normal person and just do normal things.
Maybe that's just like her one kernel of sanity left.
Because she was normal.
She was normal, and then
before, and then Joker happened, and
it could very well be possible. That's part of the tragedy that she
just wants to be back to the way she was
with the man she loves, who just happens to be the Joker.
Except that they constantly throughout the movie have her saying "own it" to these people whenever they say something really crazy, and she really is fucking serious about it.
In a better movie maker, she would be screaming that more, like using that as an excuse to tell herself that instead of just like there was a way to structure that scene where she's telling El Diablo, like, just because you killed your fucking parents, killed your family, like you expect sympathy from us, you fucking own it, we're bad guys. And then
I love how she says we're different. Oh, like, yeah, you need to kill kids to be different. That just makes you different, man. You kill kids, you're different. You're just different.
Or if it would be better if that was her trying to tell herself that.
Yeah.
She's convincing no one but herself. Mm-hmm. So that would have made her character more tragic, and that's really the most important and most integral part of her character. Yeah. But again, there was way too much focus scattershot everywhere, and I feel like the movie could have been better. Just pop those two characters out of that movie.
Yeah, just eject them.
Just completely eject them from the movie. And what you got here is a fairly serviceable action film. And as far as what I was expecting, fairly serviceable action film is what I paid to see. But with
it wasn't. I think the problem is that having those two in the movie not only was bad for the scenes they were in, it was bad for the rest of the movie. It radiated outwards and just really fucked everything else up.
But again, I agree with you on that part.
Smeared it.
I agree with you on the fact that it took a focus away from other characters that were underdeveloped, and like I said, Captain Boomerang, which, granted, a low down dirty bastard doesn't need a lot of time to develop, but I feel like he could have done more in the movie, and that was time that was taken away from him to give to fucking Harley and fucking Joker, and so I'll say this: without them, pretty good serviceable action movie. With them, a way too problematic movie for me for anyone to enjoy legitimately. But I think there is enough oh my god, to actually have some kind of perverse ironic enjoyment.
It was just way too. The whole movie felt way too fanficky.
Man, do you think this is really the first actual split on Suicide Squad? You were just completely thumbs down. I'm more like,
It can't be too much of a split when you're. The ideal split is this, and I don't think we've really ever had that.
Yeah, no, there's just way too much good stuff in the movie, legitimately good stuff for me to just give it a wholesale don't see this movie. I'm saying there's a lot of baggage in this movie, and I wish that baggage wasn't there, but I can overlook a really, really sloppy 30-minute beginning, and I can overlook the fact that, this movie was obviously reshot and redrafted because Will Smith is still awesome in the movie, and there were still enough awesome characters, and there were still enough good performances, despite an adequate script, just an adequate script. So, yeah, I think I said my piece.
I'm good.
All right.
I'm fine.
All right. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine, Kate.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine. Till next time.